Game 1 at the Forum was a high-scoring affair. The teams trading goals at a rapid pace. Dale Hunter gave the Nordiques a 5-4 lead in the third with a deflection that beat Patrick Roy. Then John O'Grodnick sealed the win with a beauty on a breakaway. Quebec winning 7-5 to draw first blood in the series. Brian Hayward started Game 2 in place of Patrick Roy, who was benched after a poor showing in the opener. Quebec sniper Michel Goulet beat Hayward on a feed from Peter Stastny to give the Nordiques the early lead. More from Quebec, tough guy Basil McRae showing a scoring touch to put the Canadiens down by 2. Ryan Walter brought Montreal within 1 late, but it would be too late for the Canadiens. 2-1 was the final as Quebec headed home with a 2-0 series lead. The desperate Canadiens responded on enemy ice in Game 3. Sergio Momesso shoveling one past Mario Gosselin to open the scoring in the first, and then veteran Bob Gainey converted a slick pass from Guy Carbonneau to give Montreal a 2-0 advantage. Quebec, however, got on the board in the second. Risto Siltanen's point shot eluding Brian Hayward. Montreal would take over from there. Mike Lawler and Shane Corson scored 2 goals apiece as Montreal ran away with it 7-2 the final. A huge win for the Canadiens, who are now back in the series trailing 2-1. After Mats Naslund scored 18 seconds into Game 4, Mike McPhee made it 2-0 for the Canadiens just before the 3-minute mark of the first period. O'Grodnick got Quebec on the boards, and then Anton Stastny tied it up, taking a sweet pass from brother Peter and putting it past Hayward. Later in the second, Paul Gillis cross-checked Mats Naslund into the boards. Gillis penalized for the vicious hit. Naslund shaken, but returned to action. He gained the ultimate revenge on Gillis and the Nordiques, firing the overtime winner to give Montreal a 3-2 win in Game 4, tie the series up at 2. Montreal started fast in Game 5.
He's got Strudlin in front. Here's Robinson.
In the second period, Quebec responded. Alain Côté beating Hayward through the legs from a bad angle to tie the game at 1. But the Canadiens would strike back.
It comes back to Chilios over to Larry Robinson. Shot feeds in.
The Nordiques tied it up in the third. Jeff Brown's point shot stopped, but Gillis was there to bang home the rebound. Then controversy erupted.
Moving down the right side. Alain Côté in front. A shot. He scored! Leonard is no goal. Terry Fraser rules no goal. He's called a penalty, I believe, and look at Michel Bergeron.
Nordique coach Michel Bergeron was irate, and he would only get angrier.
And the bitter rivalry continues. Carbonneau working against Finn. Carbonneau to Ryan Walter.
Walter's second of the game stood as the winning goal, and Bergeron's Nordiques were now down 3-2 in a series they once led 2-0. Corson continued his strong play early in Game 6, driving past the defense and beating Gosselin for a 1-0 lead. Things indeed looked bleak for Quebec when Chris Nyland fired one home from the slot to open up a 2-0 lead. Midway through the second period, Normand Rochefort beat Hayward, but not the post. Montreal was still up 2-0. In the third, Quebec finally would break the goose egg. Peter Stastny setting up Goulet, who snapped one past Hayward. With under 7 minutes to go, the Nordiques would equalize. O'Grodnick, the trigger man, on a nice feed from Jason Lafreniere. Great comeback for Quebec, and they weren't done yet. Peter Stastny gaining the zone, Rochefort swooping in, and beat Hayward 5-hole to give Quebec a dramatic 3-2 win. The action was hard-hitting in the early stages of Game 7. Montreal getting the first chance.
Last year's Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Patrick Roy, has been sitting out through the last 6 games of this series. After having let the team turn the bad night in Game 1, he was replaced during that game by Hayward. Here comes Walter to the line. He scores! Ryan Waller!
In the second, Walter struck again.
Bobby Smith has got it, they score! I think Waller touched it, Gary.
Walter again? Yep, but he's going for the net, and he does that so well all the time.
Later in the second, Bobby Smith scored off a scramble to give the Canadiens a 3-1 lead. Shortly thereafter, one of Montreal's young guns fired away.
Ahead, Momesso. Corson trailing. Drops it off to Shane Corson. A shot, scored!
In a triumphant Game 7 for Montreal, McPhee scored the clincher in the third period, the Canadiens taking the game 5-3 to capture the series.
The first couple of shifts and even the first period, we were holding back. We weren't really comfortable with what we were doing, but as we pushed ourselves, we knew what we had to do. It was just a matter of getting on track, and I think that we came out with a real good effort and a great win for us.
You know, it's kind of unfortunate it goes down to the seventh game, a one-game affair. We kind of have a bad second period, and you know, I mean, that was the whole series, eh? But you got to give Montreal credit. They played well. They played the way they were supposed to. They forechecked. Their forechecking was very, very strong tonight, and you know, when they scored that shorthanded goal against us, it kind of took the wind out of our sails.